Well, Donald, to start with, I'd like to find out a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
I generally puzzle people because I usually tell them that I was born in Kingston in Surrey. And they look at me in great surprise. And then I said, Surrey in Jamaica, because we have three counties, Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. Both James and I, we are Surrey. People, the eastern part of Jamaica is Surrey. So we belong to So, yes, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
And when was that?
82 years ago.
Wow. So how comes you ended up here, Donald, in the UK?
I'm not a Windrush person. My line bypassed Windrush. My stepfather came to Britain in 1947, and a boat that no one seems to have heard of, the Almanzora.
Can you say that again? I didn't quite
hear.
The
Almanzora. Mm-hmm. It predates the Windrush by almost a year. Mm. And then a few years later, my mother joined. By then, I'd finished school. And there's nothing to do. So the next step was to join them in Britain. And I came up with the intention that how I was going to do it, I don't know. But in my mind, I came for 5 years. And in those 5 years, I would have a degree and back home. I have no idea how it was going to be done. Mm. So, it's just joining my family in London.
Do you know why they came here?
Yes, my stepfather is to find a job, and he did. He worked on British Rail for most of his working life in this country. Actually, he went back home. So there were jobs to be had, really. And my mother did various jobs around the Elephant and Castle. They were living in a council flat in near Blackfriars Bridge. Mm. It was rather interesting because when I was doing some research into things about the London boroughs, at that time the mayor of Southwark was saying, we haven't got any now in Southwark. And I thought, well, my parents with you for, a good 6 years before that particular report came out, there was something about all it was an annual of all the boroughs in London, and people are talking when they came to, and that was the mayor, his take on the fact that, we didn't have any blacks in Southwark.
Yeah.
It was rather strange, because they were there. Perhaps they didn't bother to count them.
Was that an issue for their parents at that time, do you think?
No, people, a lot of friendships were made in the workplace. My mother had quite a wide circle of friends, whites, if we want to be, talking about race. And it didn't seem to be any problem at all in the workplace. When I joined them, I brought my third year Jamaica local certificate, which is about the highest certificate you could get if you went to an elementary school. And being brought up in the country, by my grandparents. You know, I took the Jamaica local examination. You don't hear people talk about these days. And I had the third year, which is the highest. It didn't go any higher than that. From that, you know, employers would take you in clerks and so on. I wanted to teach, so that was, you could teach with almost as an apprentice to one of the teachers. You'd be almost apprentice to them, and then from there you have a few years to pass a very strict examination to see whether the government would accept you as a teacher. That was called in that case you would be a probationary teacher. Well, I didn't do that because I knew instinctively that before long my parents would send for me. And, you know, so I didn't go down that line. But, I mean, having said that, I was refused jobs in, you know, you turn up at a shop in a town and you are, you know, want to just earn a little money, and but they weren't recruiting anyone. Anyway, many of these shops, they prefer to have their own family or family friends in, rather than to recruit someone that they don't know, but on the strength of a certificate or so.
What was it that interested you about teaching? Why did you want to be a teacher?
Because the men I met that really interested me, one married one of my aunts, were the sort of people that, you know, they seemed to be, from my perspective, sort of full of knowledge and that sort of thing. And I enjoyed the times that they asked me to take a class as a monitor. I really, and then history got a hold of me. It's a subject that I really do enjoy reading and enjoy listening, you know, being taught by people who know what they're on about. I don't know if that is enough, but I've always wanted to be a teacher. Mind you, there are some classes I've had from Tulsil to Geoffrey Chaucer made me want to change my mind at times, but you know, it's something I enjoyed, and I always feel that I could go to Brixton any day and bump into some of the boys I've taught at Tulsil, and you know, we have a grown-up conversation and so on. Yeah. And I was giving a talk in Brixton, and quite a few people around. And at the end, I was leaving, and this young lady stood in my way, you know, and it suddenly occurred to me that she wasn't going to give way. I came right up to her, and she said, "You can't remember me, can you?" And she gave me her first name, and you know, I could tell her our surname, and we chatted, and I thought, you know, here she is, grown up, you know, with her family and so on, holding down quite a good job and so on, and we started talking, and by the time I went home, there was an email on my phone, and we are now in touch and so on. And the same has happened with another girl, they were about the same age group, and so on. So I thought, well, perhaps I wasn't a complete failure. Or else they wouldn't have wanted to know,
Yeah.
you know.